I hope you guys get arrested so I can read those text messages in court.
Welcome to the Front Porch with Brian Beaudry.
I'd like to welcome today's guest, our events coordinator, Emyly Banke. Is that correct? No?
It's Banke.
Banke.
Yeah.
Emyly Banke. Emyly, welcome to the Front Porch.
Thank you.
Let's start with the basics. Who are you? Where are you from? And do you ever talk to yourself? And if so, what about?
My name's Emyly. I'm from Dallas. Or I say I'm from Dallas. I'm originally from West Texas, Midland, but I was only a kid there. So I had
How much of a kid? Because
up until I was maybe 5 or 6.
Okay, I think that's allowable to go.
Yeah, I had no conscience then.
Yeah.
So I'm really from Dallas.
Okay.
If ethnically from Mexico. I feel like that's going to be confusing for people. I'm from all over the place. Okay. And I do talk to myself usually when I'm nervous. Just chill myself out.
Okay.
Or when I have to remind myself about work things. I'm like, okay, Emily, do this. You had a plan to do this. Don't forget to do the other thing. And then also have fun.
And you take direction well from yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm really good at that.
It's better than if you disagree with me, you're like, no, I'm not going to do that, Emily. Yeah. Quit telling me to.
Sometimes that happens. If I'm telling myself to go to the gym, then it's a debate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we continue, hold on.
Do you ask everybody that question?
No, I throw in a different third one.
You just thought I should sound crazy.
I have this book of questions on my desk. There's 3,000 questions, and I was going through it, and I was like, that one I haven't asked it in a while, or haven't actually asked anyone. So, I talk to myself too. It's okay.
You have to ask at least 3 more people this, otherwise I'm just gonna sound like a lunatic.
No, I don't think I will. Okay, let's go into your job history and present. But we'll start off with when you're a kid. Adults usually ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you remember the first thing that you thought that you wanted to be?
Yeah, but as a kid, they don't tell you about all the jobs.
That's true.
So I was always really good in school, and there's only 3 jobs you can have if you're smart and a kid. It's doctor, which I didn't want to do.
Okay.
Lawyer, which was what I was leaning for, and teacher. And I knew teachers didn't get paid a lot, so lawyer was the only answer for me.
Okay, why not doctor?
Because it's gross. You have to wear white, the white thing all the time, and I obviously like to dress up.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of different kinds of doctors now, but I didn't know that as a kid.
Yeah, they don't really.
They just look at your bones and guts and the warts. There's always that movie joke about finding out that someone's a nurse, so then they start showing them weird warts and stuff. That's terrifying.
Okay, well, I think you probably made the right decision by staying away from that then.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there anything else you considered being as you grew up and discovered other careers, or was it law for a while?
It was law for a while. The kind of attorney changed the more I learned about stuff.
Yeah,
and then
when you started learning that there's different kinds of law as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also just really loved art, so I had the idea of getting into the arts, but artists don't make a lot of money, so it was always art director, but I'm not a Nepo baby, so it would have been hard to break into that. So I was like, no.
You didn't want to find your way into art law, because I can't imagine there's
much
of that.
Yeah, that was actually a big part of my high school experience. I went to a specific school for law in high school. And so a lot of my classes were about art, but mostly about their origins, who actually owns the piece, all of that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's fun, it's interesting, but it's also a very niche thing. So it's hard to find a job that goes that way. And I feel like it would be just a lot of reading, which it is. It's just a lot of reading and knowing about things.
I think law is supposed to be lots of reading.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that kind of leads me into what I was going to base my question on. Looking at your LinkedIn, it seems like you worked in a lot of law places. So did you have a passion for it, or was it just the fact that it's like, well, law seems to have a lot of money involved, and I would like to have a lot of money, because I think that was one of the reasons that I was semi-interested in it as a kid, because it's like, well, yeah, agreed with you. Doctor seems like, well, for me, it seems like you have a lot of responsibility, and I don't know if I'm ready for like, hey, I don't want life or death to be on me.
Yeah. So yes, I did want a lot of money. That's why I chose law over teacher. But then as I explored it a little more, I just tend to be like, it tends to align with my skill set. I was just more organized, or like, I'm really good at finding context or trying to come up with a plan of sorts. And people think that lawyers make a lot of money, but it's really only like specific kinds of lawyers. And those are really boring. Like personal injury attorneys make a lot of money, but they just do the same thing over and over. Like they really do treat every case the same. And then the ones that are like specific are just super stressful. Like it's life or death situations, or like someone's literal freedom on the line. Yeah. That's so stressful. Or like animal rights attorneys. I have a friend who's an animal rights attorney. That is so stressful. Like, oh my God. Yeah. So it's either really boring but rich. Yeah. Which sounds fun, but it's not fun.
The concept is fun, but in the actual day-to-day, not great.
And there's so much schooling behind it, and it's repetitive. I would have driven myself crazy. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't seem to be a lawyer.
No, I'm not a lawyer.
How close did you get to being a lawyer, aside from like working in an office?
Not that close, because I never went to law school.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to go to law school to be a lawyer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Despite what my friends think, everybody comes to me for like advice. I'm like, I'm not a lawyer. Like the best I could do is chat GPT or file it for you.
I like the idea of you having to have a disclaimer when you're talking to yeah. Okay, so you did work at a lot of law places, though. Mm-hmm. Why was that appealing? Or why did you even go down that route? So, like, you already decided, no, I'm not going to do law school, but I'm still going to work at these law places. Why?
Yeah, well, I was still in the age where I could go to law school. I mean, you can go to law school at any age.
Yes.
But in high school, I went to Law Magnet in Townview, and 2 of your periods are supposed to be internships. Okay. And so I had a legal internship like when I was 16, as soon as I could work. And that was really fun because I got to get out of school and dress up for it. Mm-hmm. And then I decided I wanted to get paid. So I went around.
Getting paid is good.
Yeah. I went around to find my own, and I put in applications. I was like, hey, like intern for hire. I found a really cool one that was like criminal defense. And so I would go to all these like jails and like help interview people. It was crazy. I would go to court a lot. It was really fun for like a 17-year-old to like skip school and actually be like in a courtroom or like interviewing inmates or like filing murder cases and trying to find stuff. And it was just really fun for me.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird thing to say, like, out of context. Sorry, I'm skipping school. I'm going to go to jail today.
I'm going to go to jail for the day, yeah.
Do you have any, like, really cool stories from your going to jail and interviewing inmates days that you're allowed to share?
I don't think they're really cool, but it was...
You just said they were cool, dang it.
They were cool. Okay, fine. So there was one time where... we actually had to find evidence in like phone books. So it was like the records of all this person was being charged for murder. We had his entire phone record. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to go through like every single text message that this person has ever sent. The attorney obviously didn't want to like spend time doing that. So I was just going there like highlighting stuff that I thought was interesting. And I'm such a snoopy person. Like, I loved going through a person's, like, text messages. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Or...
Note to self, don't ever get accused of murder or anything that's going to require...
everything will come to court. Like, as long as they have a warrant, like, they have everything. It's really fun for, like, a 16-year-old to, like, go through someone's text messages. And court's interesting. it was also like a school project to like go to a bunch of courtrooms and stuff. And you never know what you're going to walk into unless you read it.
Yeah.
And I never prepped to like go to court. I would just show up and see what was interesting.
So you were already anti-reading.
I was kind of. I was just because like you had to do it. I'm anti-homework. I was never very good at homework.
Oh, there you go.
Just because I'd rather do other stuff with my free time.
Yes.
But I would walk in and just like hear crazy murder cases, or like sometimes they show photos in court, like of everything, which was really interesting. As I grew older, I'd like stopped having the stomach for it, but like as a teenager, that stuff's cool.
Yeah, I think I can relate to that. I was definitely into a lot more stuff when I was younger than it's now. It's like, yeah, I don't need to see that.
Yeah. Now it's scary. Like knowing people are murderers is scary. Yeah. But as a kid, it's like, that's whoa.
Yeah, it doesn't really connect at the same level.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in law, you're doing all this law related stuff. How do you end up at point of rental? Because last I checked, we're not doing that stuff here.
Yeah. So as a legal assistant was cool, but I ended up doing a lot of admin stuff when I was at my last job. So I had a few like receptionists and the office manager. So I just kind of started like swaying away from that, and also planning like the work parties and stuff like that. And that was really fun. And then I decided I really wanted to try being the executive assistant because it was a cross between legal assistant and then also all of the admin stuff that gets involved. And I was able to file things. I was bilingual. It just made sense. And so I just started putting applications around. Almost got, right before coming to my interview at Point of Rental, I was going to be hired to be the executive assistant at the JFK Museum to their CEO. And I was like, oh, it's like headed towards law. I think it's going to be like, it's headed towards art and a good mix of like the things I want to do. And it was right in the middle of Dallas. Like I thought it was going to be great. And then I heard back from Point of Rental. It was like one of the applications I put in. And Lauren wanted to do an interview. And then I met Lauren. She was like, awesome. I was like, oh my God, like she sounds amazing. Point of Rental sounds great. I just need to meet somebody in person. Like I'd like to meet Wayne in person, just like make sure that we get along, figure out that we're both looking for the right thing. And I came in and it was so cool to see the office and the mural, and it was less work, and it was like getting to know Lauren, and Wayne was amazing. And I was like, okay, not what I was going for. I'm kind of taking a left, but I feel like the vibes seem right. Started working that same, I think after I interviewed on a Thursday, and then Lauren was like, hey, can you come Monday? We're going to an offsite over to a ranch. And I was like, I'm actually supposed to be in Florida. I have like a trip planned. And then she was like, please. And I was like, okay, I've been to Florida before. It's fine. So I canceled my trip and I showed up to an offsite with like 10 strangers, spent a whole week with them, and it was amazing. Like everybody that was there is like a good friend now. And I wouldn't trade it.
That's a pretty strong please, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Lauren.
All right, so now we know either the magic word for Emyly or you just have to be Lauren.
Yeah. Well, also, a lot of people message me all the time asking for stuff, and like they forget to say please. And so I'm always like, say please. And then they're like, please. I was like, okay. Or if they say pretty please with a cherry on top, I'll prioritize it. On top of everything else.
See, I feel like doing that is extra, so I usually don't.
It is extra.
Ask for that, but okay.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't really like the cherry on top, to be honest.
I love cherries on top, especially like Sundays or anytime someone's drinking an old fashioned. Like I know, like they're not gonna eat the cherry, and I'm just like, that's the best part.
All right, so yeah, if we're hanging out, then I know who to give the extra cherries to. Good.
Please.
But you were Wayne's executive assistant. Okay, so that's where you're starting. Doesn't seem like executive assistant is a super lucrative job, but maybe you secretly are getting that kind of lifestyle. But really what I want to know is what's something that people should know about working with Wayne?
He loves hugs. If you see Wayne around, he doesn't seem like he would like hugs, but just go up and hug him. He'll really appreciate that.
See, now I'm concerned that you're just getting people in trouble.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. He's actually really sarcastic. Yeah, Wayne's super sarcastic. If you didn't know that about Wayne, you do now. He might say something and you're like, but he's just sarcastic. He's actually one of the greatest persons.
Yeah, I was going to say, dealing with you and Wayne, often very hard to tell.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What's something that people should know when they're trying to set up a meeting with him? Obviously, you haven't been his executive assistant in a while.
Yeah.
But
try to find out who his assistant is. I just forgot her name.
And just go through his assistant and don't inform him about it. Just show up on his calendar.
So you have to find out who his assistant is and then put him in a Slack message with Wayne. Mm-hmm. One of them will respond, and it'll save them the communication of going back and forth with each other. That way they can just be like, oh, yeah, book it then.
That's good call.
One of them will respond with a good time.
Okay. Is it easier or tougher than being an assistant in a law firm?
I don't know. I think it might have been tougher because I had to learn how point of rental works. And so Wayne is Wayne, right? But then he has his entire ELT team, which is like 10 people, probably more now. So you have to like figure out like who they all are and then how they like to work and yeah.
Okay, so you were helping facilitate stuff with them as well?
Yeah. I think it was only a little bit more difficult because it was new to me and I had been doing law since I was 16. So that was easy peasy. Gotcha.
Yeah, I guess you were an executive assistant, not necessarily Wayne's personal assistant. Mm-hmm. So executive leadership team. Okay. Now it makes sense. But you moved over to the marketing team because you were like executives. Well, I don't know why. So why did you move to the marketing team?
So as an assistant to also Wayne and Lauren, the events were a big thing. So they came up pretty often. And I was planning the ELT's travel to events and then also helping Lori with some things that went under like the office as well. So I was already doing a lot of the things for the onsites. Mm-hmm. And then it just sounded really fun to help with the other stuff, which I kind of already was doing travel, helping everybody book their travel. And so it was just like an easy transition. I remember seeing how the events were planned and I was like, ooh, like I want an input in that because I feel like we could do it a little bit better than we have. Maybe getting some spreadsheets and some organizing in there or like, I don't know. I felt like I could do the job pretty well.
Yeah.
And so I made my pitch to Lauren and Andrew for it. And I was like, hey, I don't know anything about it, completely unrelated, but I'm kind of already helping. Can I try? And they gave me like a little probation period. It went really well.
How long was your probation period?
So they said it was 3 months, but after the first month, they had already hired somebody to replace me. And I was like, wait, so is it still like, am I allowed to? I think the way they put it was try it out for 3 months. If you like it, you can keep the job. If not, just go back. But they had hired a replacement. Yeah. So I was like, am I supposed to just like it? And so I've been pretending to like it since then.
Okay.
Just kidding. I do love my job.
Okay. Well, that's good because that was going to have some awkward questions later on. So one thing I wanted to get to, though, I often see your brother around the office helping out with projects as needed. Now, I live several states away from my sister. I don't like hate her or anything, but I can't imagine bringing her to work. So, like, why do you bring your brother in? Why do you, like, work with family? It seems like you enjoy it.
Yeah, Goose. He doesn't actually work for Point of Rental. Yeah. Well, kind of.
He works every once in a while for Point of Rental.
Yeah. I think the first time we needed him was either for ARA or for the Christmas party. We needed someone with a trailer. And so we were like, oh, we could just rent a trailer and borrow a truck. And my brother back then lived 15 minutes away. And he has a giant dually, like a giant truck. And he's actually towed my car before from an offsite. Like, I knew he could do the job. So I just asked him. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, whatever. Gave him some gas money for it. And then ever since then, I'm like, oh, my brother will show up if I give him gas money and ask him for help. Which he does. He's the coolest. And Andrew's had him, like, build crates for him before. And he's just really helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any other assistants in your family that you can bring in for random tasks?
He's probably the best one.
Okay.
My other brother is 13, so we can't really like.
Yeah, that seems like maybe in a few years.
Yeah,
you can
maybe in a few years.
coach him
Also,
up, train him.
Goose is very charismatic. He's like the family favorite.
Okay.
Andrew really likes him too. Terry loves him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really easy to bring him around like big groups of people. And
Okay.
he's funny. He pranked the entire SDRs and told them that he just walked in and like grabbed a plate and didn't really know anything about Point of Rental or what we were doing here. So I liked having him around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do Andrew and Terry like him more than they like you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well,
And so do my parents.
I'll make sure we ask them to find out and just verify your feelings.
Yeah.
What does an events coordinator do on a day-to-day basis? Because I imagine there are wild fluctuations in like the amount of stuff that you have to get done.
Yeah. So it's obviously busier this time of year because we have international conference, we have the Christmas party, and we have ARA, Cater Source, and a few other big trade shows happening in January.
Yeah. Just to be clear, like when this gets shared with people, it will be months from now.
Oh.
But we are recording this in December.
Yeah. In December, wintertime, it is really busy. Most of my job is getting ready for the next event and making sure that everything's set up for it. So whatever it is, whatever's next.
But what does that entail for, let's say, like ARA? Because I don't think most people know all of the stuff that goes on in the background to make something happen. Like they just see, like they'll come to a trade show. It's like, oh, that's a booth. That's neat. What is some of the stuff that goes into it that people might not think about?
So step 1 is finding out what we want to do. So ARA.
That's good.
Step 2 is finding out everything that we need to do to accomplish it and put it in Asana. Figure out what due dates there are. So my Asana board's like 100 tasks that need to be done with dates on when they need to be done by and the people who need to be involved. And then it's actually doing them. So for ARA, it's registering for the booth, buying all of the things from the people who provide the booth that we need to run it. So electricity, internet, labor to set up things like the flooring, making sure that we have all the furniture for it, making sure that the furniture for it is designed with Daria, making sure that the people who are going to be running the booth know that they're coming, making sure that they have flights and food and a hotel room and a plan on what to do when they're there and that they're trained to do that job. Yeah.
Sounds like a whole thing.
And then breaking it down.
Yes, that
and
wasn't.
And then flying everybody back.
That wasn't breaking it. Oh, you're talking about breaking down the booth.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's also some like additional events as well. Like I know we have a post-ARA show training, and sometimes there's other events associated with it.
Yeah. So those things are like, Sean, he needs to have a hotel room to put on the training. So finding out where we can do those things, what those people are going to eat, how they're going to get from the convention center to the training. It's a lot of logistics and like thinking through things. So yeah, it's just finding out how to make the thing happen. So the event, it doesn't necessarily have to be an event, but international conference, ARA, finding out all of the things that we need to do to make that successful.
Yeah.
And making sure they get done.
Yeah. I feel like attendees for us for at least like the past year or so appreciate that you seem to like a certain level of comfort. Because if I were in charge, I'd be like, just suck it up.
Yeah, sometimes. If it's stuff like getting everybody Chick-fil-A sauce, I'm like, that's not that serious.
Yeah.
Unless I feel like it's serious, then everybody's going to have Chick-fil-A sauce. But if it's things like, oh, what if I get cold at the area show? Then everybody gets a jacket. Because it's like, I've thought about it and I don't want to deal with it. And so as an attendee, I feel like you guys need to be taken care of as well. Because it's a huge investment. And people don't do a good job if they don't feel good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Or at least like they're cared about / taken care of.
Yeah. I'm also pretty like, what's the word? I was about to say bougie, but that's not. Maybe. It's just like I want to make sure my ride from the airport to the hotel is like semi-nice. Last year, I gave everybody gifts as I picked them up, and it had like all these goodies.
Which I didn't get any because I didn't get picked up, but...
Oh, yeah. You should have taken us up for that free ride. Russell was giving everybody goodie bags. Everybody's badges were there. We had jackets and swag in there. Yeah. I care about the details.
That's what I'm saying. Like people definitely appreciate it with you running it rather than me, where it's like, hey, you got a ride. What else do you want?
You're alive. You're here. It's fine.
Exactly. I was in the Marine Corps for a while, so it's like anything beyond you made it alive is like you should be more than happy.
And it costs to be nice to me because if you're nice, like Damon, I always upgrade his room or like make sure that he gets better stuff just because he's so nice.
Okay, so I should start being nice to you. That's a good idea. Is be nice to people. All right, before we get into any other things, I want to play a game with you. Banke or no Danke? So if you agree with its statement or it's true, say Banke.
Okay.
And if you disagree with it, say no Danke. And then I need a reason.
Okay.
Banke or no Danke, you've been known to cry at movies.
Banke.
Is there a particular type of movie that hits you in the feels?
I cry every time I watch Notebook.
Okay.
And as a girl, I watch it a lot. But I cry every time.
Okay. So even when you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Almost maybe because you know what's coming.
Yeah. Or the music. I feel like when they put like really sad music, I can just start crying. If you were to play it right now, I'd probably start crying. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't have it handy, so we won't start you crying. Banke or no Danke, you cheat at board or card games.
Banke. I'll cheat if I think I can get away with it or if the game's boring. Then I have to add an extra level of difficulty.
Okay.
To try to get away with cheating.
Like, what's a specific game that you will usually consider boring?
Uno. Like, after the 5th round, I'll start hiding cards in my sleeves. Or...
What's the most number of cards you've ended up with?
Like 7.
Okay. You've told an outrageous lie to a child.
Banke. I lie to kids all the time.
Okay, what's a good example of... What's your favorite lie that you've convinced a kid of?
I really like telling kids that, like, there's usually a lot of dogs around whenever I'm around kids. Okay. And I like going, like, eat her, like making them think that the dog has a attack command. Because then everybody starts running around and it's chaos.
Okay, so you like chaos.
I like chaos. When it comes to kids, because they're so funny with it. They start screaming.
And as long as, like, it's not actual chaos, that there's no actual danger.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Like, if there's dogs
chaos
around the kids, they're not actually going to eat them.
Probably.
Most likely. If they're already there in the same environment.
They should be all right.
A more adult person has already confirmed that. That the dog does not eat kids.
Okay. Do you have like a waiver that you have people sign?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, it feels like with your law background, or your experience in
those
law, you should have
things don't work anyways. It's fine.
Your favorite fast food fries are from McDonald's?
No Danke.
Where's your favorite from then?
I saw that you don't really like the Chick-fil-A ones, but those are amazing.
I think they're overrated.
They're really good.
See, my problem with them is like you can't really dip it in a sauce very well. And also, usually when they're like delivered, they're usually soggy by the time they get there. And it's like, these aren't even good.
That's true.
But the waffle chips that Chick-fil-A has, those are fire.
I really like tater tots from like Sonic. Okay. Those are nice. I don't know if you would consider those fries.
They're a fry alternative, so I'll allow it.
Or Popeyes. Popeyes has really good fry flavor, but they tend to be really soggy. Yeah. So Popeyes, I have been air fried at home. Maybe those.
Air fryer, like game changer.
Scratch everything. Fries. I love sweet potato fries. I love sweet potato fries. And if a place has sweet potato fries, those are my favorite.
Okay, well that's...
But it's rare. Most fast food.
I was going to say, I would give you more acceptance for tater tots than sweet potato fries for some weird reason.
It's niche. Yeah. But I'm like an aioli girl. I like that.
What a weird way to describe yourself. Okay, you have an embarrassing nickname or a nickname that you hate.
Do I have to tell you the nickname if I...
Let's worry about answering the question the first way.
Banke, I do.
Okay, are you willing to share it?
So this one is not the one I'm embarrassed about, but growing up, my friends always called me Lee, like L-E-E.
Okay. Why not
Lee,
just L-Y?
like Emily.
Yeah.
Because L-Y, it's like lie. So it doesn't actually
Okay.
It's more of a pronunciation thing.
Yeah.
My embarrassing nickname is one my mom gave me. So I have two brothers. Goose is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Is that a nickname from your mother for Goose, or is that like...
No, his real name's Gustavo.
Oh, that would
so
make
that's
sense.
just Goose.
Okay.
Emily. Lee. But she also has an animal nickname for us.
Okay.
Goose's is chicken.
Okay.
My little brother is squirrel. And then she has an animal for me, and I hate it.
Oh.
I hate it so much.
But you've given so much of a tease with your brothers.
I know. My dad actually calls me Bunny, and that one's really cute. I like Bunny.
Bunnies
but the
are
one
cute.
my mom gave me is not cute. And I'm not telling nobody.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me later off camera. I won't tell other people.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll get to your non-work related questions.
Wow. Those were work related questions.
I mean,
at first, I was excited that people really started noticing me.
Looking good, Scotty.
Hey, Scott, where'd you get that shirt?
That shirt? Jeez! Hey, you been working out?
But now it's hard to not feel like a piece of meat sometimes. Yeah, no, so I'm just working on this profiles things for Salesforce, and I just don't know this. But dude, come on, my eyes are up here. The shirt is really nice though. I just wish people would stop obsessing over it. Hey, come on, man, not you too. All right, this interview's over.
I asked you for a personal mission statement before this episode. Did you make it up for the sheet for the pre-production questionnaire, or do you actually remember it?
I remembered it. It's leading the world with kindness and integrity.
Okay. 100%. You did actually remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Has this always been your thing, or was it something that you advised others for a long time and then you're like, if I'm going to keep telling people to do this, I should probably live it?
It's something I made up for my LinkedIn when I was making up LinkedIn back in my high school days. But I also just really believe in kindness and integrity. I think you should do a good job. I think you should be kind to people.
Yeah, I don't think that's too controversial.
Yeah.
of an opinion. I think you should be a jerk to people. Pretty aggressive to be leading the world though.
Well, we're all leading
Okay.
in some way. You're leading through the world in your own way. And yeah, I think we're all leaders.
Okay. Great. Now more responsibility. I don't know if I want this responsibility. Okay, so you got into events because you have a passion for making sure events
Go
are things
well.
and
Yeah.
and enjoyable.
I'm a
I got into
control
marketing
freak.
because I love writing, and now that I'm into marketing, when I go home, one of the last things I want to do is write. So, are you still planning events in your free time?
Yes. I actually love when people come to me and ask for help on stuff. But I love hosting. I love throwing my friends' birthday parties. I love a good dinner party. I love offsites. I don't know if everybody knows, but we do leadership offsites, and I love putting the dinners together for those. Or it depends how much time I have, but if I could throw dinner parties for a living, I would keep doing that even after I retire.
Okay, so maybe you run a murder mystery place or a dinner, just a place that does only dinner parties.
Well, they can't, maybe, but they can't be just murder mysteries.
Yeah,
because then it'd be
that's what I'm saying. It
repetitive
can't be
and
the same
boring,
thing.
and then I'm back at law. So
Yeah, it's really too related to law.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's your favorite event that you've ever created?
My favorite was New Orleans area, actually.
Oh,
I love the bar crawl. I thought that was super fun. And I love all the dinners that we went to when we went there because we did a lot of historical, like classic New Orleans restaurants. And I love the point of rental team. So being able to experience that with everybody who went was fun.
Okay, so you did get to go on the bar crawl yourself, or did you just set it up for others?
I went. Yeah.
Okay. What was enjoyable? I didn't get to go on the bar crawl.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. I was kind of tired every day, so.
You missed out. It was really fun. I don't know that we can talk about on record everything that happened at the bar crawl.
Oh, it's a Vegas type situation where what happens there stays there? Or?
No, not necessarily. I just don't want a record of it because people who didn't go are going to feel so sad that they missed out.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
only so many people can go to these events.
Yeah, you should work really hard until you are so important to point of rental that you have to be at area.
I was gonna say I don't know that like in some sections, I don't know that it's gonna make sense to send you.
I feel
No
like
matter what.
leadership for, I don't know, because even Francis comes for support.
That's true. I'm
There's
thinking
people
of
for
stuff
dev.
like
So it's,
QA and stuff where it's like like
they have to find a way
it'd
to
be
get
nice,
so
but-
important
Yeah.
to show up to area.
okay. Has anything ever gone horribly wrong at an event you've put on?
Possibly, but you would never know about it because I solved it. Because I'm so good at my job.
Okay, what like it doesn't have to be work related, but has anything gone wrong in any non-work related ones?
Non-work related. Oh, this one's really bad. I'm really sorry, Wayne and Terry. I am so sorry. I've felt so bad about this one since it happened. But I set their grill on fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It was so bad. Like actual fire kept coming out. And it wouldn't stop.
But it stayed within the grill, right?
It sort of. It got
didn't
on the
burn
walls
anything
a
down.
little bit. We burned the grill brush. I bought them a new one.
I think
That was
makes
really
up for
bad.
it.
It doesn't get worse than fire. Like that's always the joke, right? Like at least nothing's on fire, but that one there was real fire.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to come up with a new level of it for that one.
Yeah. It doesn't get worse than that. Like catching your CEO's house on fire. It's pretty bad.
Okay, well, it does seem like you made it through it, so good job. I think, well, if you've already set the house on fire and you're still here, then like, how much more
I don't know.
how much more can you push things?
Um,
You mentioned that you're a Pinterest person, which, if I recall correctly, like event planning seems like the main target audience for Pinterest
Yes.
initially. Do you have any advice for people that are like in the event rental industry that maybe want to appeal to Pinterest people about like things that they can do on their Pinterest boards that might appeal to people like you?
in the event industry,
Yeah.
upload everything you have into Pinterest and then make boards out of it. So let's say you have a lot of blue linens, then set up what a wedding that had those blue linens or like a baby shower would look like. That way when people come in wondering like what to get or how to use the things, you have beautiful boards on how to do it.
Okay, so just make lots and lots of boards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's basically all that Pinterest is. You make pins and then you categorize them into boards.
Okay. Any other suggestions for any event rental companies that might be looking to a Pinterest expert to try to appeal to people?
Find the youngest girl working for your company and ask her for help on your Pinterest. She'll probably know.
Okay.
Or send me a LinkedIn message. I might help you.
Oh,
If you say pretty please.
okay. And remember, the cherry on top, always
That gets
it's like
you
a fast pass
prioritized.
to
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like you've really taken advantage of us being a remote work environment over the past year or so. I remember you having gone to like Bali, I think, places in Europe. And again, I'm not like tracking or anything, so I don't know all the places that you've gone, but that's a lot. So how are you managing to keep our events and trade shows going and like do all this logistic stuff while you are traveling and doing all these things where I imagine it's not always easy to do?
It's not always easy, but I think I'm fairly organized and we have a really good team. So when I am traveling, we're planning shows months in advance. So I know what shows are coming up that month. And I try to do all of the physical things that I need to do in the office before I leave. So I'll pack those 10 by 10s. I'll get that swag packaged. And I put it somewhere where our salesperson attending the show can get it, or I ship it in advance. And luckily, our sales team is really nice, to me at least. And they help with
That's the
put
important part.
logistics. And everything else can be done remotely. All of the shows are all over the U.S., so
Yeah.
I can talk to them even from Bali or from the UK and let New Orleans know that we'll be there and everything's going to go smoothly. Fingers crossed.
Have you ever run into like an issue with time zones or whatever, and you're like, hang on, I gotta answer this message at like 11 p.m. because this person needs an answer today?
Not
States?
necessarily time zones, because I already work at like 10 p.m. sometimes to do random stuff, so it makes no difference to have to do that from the UK. I have run into issues where my phone number just doesn't let me call the US anymore because I'm using a different phone number, or I can't figure out how to dial like from a different country.
Mm-hmm.
That can be really annoying, but Andrew suggested Google Phone or something like that. So,
That's
and you
a
can
thing that
usually
exists.
can
I don't know
usually
anything
find
about
the email for someone. So, or if I'm really nice, somebody else in the company will call for me.
Mm.
Yeah,
You have to ask them, pretty please, with cherries on top.
usually, or I bribe them with swag. Yeah,
Bribing is always a good lubricant for social stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the craziest thing you've had to do to either get like a connection, basically to make work happen while traveling? What's kind of the craziest thing you've had to go through to make sure you're on a call or make sure something gets through?
So in Bali, everybody gets around on mopeds. And I was running back late from dinner to a meeting because meetings were, I think it was around 8 p.m. my time in Bali.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to show up for marketing morning meeting. And I was at dinner and there was a lot of traffic. So I told it's kind of like Uber, but it's a bike.
Yeah.
I told him I'd tip him $10, which is a lot in Bali money to get off of the road and onto the dirt and skip the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And he did do that for me, which was really nice.
See, bribes always the way to
always help. I've also bribed our ARA setup team, like the people who hang up our signs and like have cranes with Chipotle burritos to like help us get our hanging sign up early. Bribing always helps. Bribing and a smile.
All right. See, I'm learning so
much. It works
much.
on me too. You can bribe me anytime.
All right. What's something that people misunderstand about you?
I'm silly goofy, but I have a really good work ethic. Yeah. Even though I joke about it and I travel all over the place, I really am working. Like things would not get done if I one day decided not to.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me? I ask you like 30 to 50. You get to ask me one.
Yeah. Who's your favorite person you've interviewed?
Gosh dang it. Someone recently asked me this one. I'll take it back. I didn't actually interview him. It was back when I was only a producer, and I let Jules interview people, and just Thomas, because Thomas is the funniest.
You know, Thomas wins the marketing team award every year, even when he doesn't work at Point of Rental.
Yeah, I make that. I literally shout at everyone every time. It's like, it doesn't matter. We can change what we're awarding, but Thomas has to win it.
Nice.
But that was also more when everyone had to go up on stage. So now that we're not forcing him to go up on stage, it's not as funny. So
yeah. I've been trying to get him to play cello at the Christmas party again. I feel like that would be really funny.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or fun. Yeah, I bet he's good.
I'm trying to get him to do, when we go to the ARA show, I really want him to go, and then he needs to be in the social video. I want him to be the person interviewing, because it would be so awkward.
Yeah.
It'd be delightful. Okay. Before we go to the 5 important questions, I need you to give me a top 5 list in a segment we'll call Give Me 5. It seems like not everyone knows the rules to a top 5 list, so we're going to start at number 5 and go to number 1, because if you tell people number 1, why would I want to hear your number 3 best? Okay, so let's start with number 5. You said that you're going to give me your top 5 places that you've traveled or places to go to.
Places to visit. I haven't gone to all of my 5.
Oh, okay.
Still on my to-do list.
Okay, all right, so let's start with number 5.
5, Mexico.
Just like the whole country, because I feel like that's a large.
Particularly the beach places. So like Puerto Vallarta. There's a town called Sayulita, which is near Puerto Vallarta, which is really nice. It's like a surf town. Great food, nice vibes. Or Tulum, Cancun area. There's Playa del Mujer. That's really nice. Yeah, top 5 places to visit. It's also really close to Texas. So if you were coming to an offsite or something, then you could just take a 2-hour flight to Mexico and have an amazing vacation.
And if you went like a couple hundred years back in history, Texas would have been in Mexico.
Nice.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4, the UK. You can stop by the point of rental office in the UK. There's also great stuff to do there. Like London's obviously nice, but Scotland, Ireland's also nearby. And there's a train that goes everywhere. Like their transportation system is amazing. So definitely visit the UK.
Okay.
Lots of history there too.
Yeah, I've heard.
And they have everybody's art. Like some of the best museums.
Oh, yeah.
They have so many like, what's it called? Like Egyptian relics.
Yeah.
So if you're into that kind of stuff. I don't know why they have them, but they have them.
There's a lot of memes about the British Empire.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3, Bali. You should visit Bali. If you haven't seen the movie Eat, Pray, Love,
I have not.
You should watch Eat, Pray, Love and then go to Bali. You can get like food for $1. You can ride around a moped.
Well, I do like eating.
We also have an Australian office, which is only a 2-hour flight from Bali.
These don't have to be all point of rental themed.
But it's so nice that you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2. Switzerland. I think everybody should go to Switzerland just because the air is so crispy. You can ski there. They also have really cool cows that they put flowers on and like bells. I love cows.
Why do they put the flowers and bells on?
They
That's
just
something I
really
hadn't
like.
heard of.
So every winter they have to bring the cows inside and like put them in barns, so they don't really get to see like grass and like sunlight as much as they do in the summer. So in the springtime, when they release the cows out into the open, it's this big celebration, and so they get bells on them. They put flowers, and it's super cool to like see decorated cows because I think it's so funny and cute.
All right, I like the concept of decorated cows, so that does sound appealing.
Yeah, they have good watches as well. You're into that,
and supposedly chocolate.
Ooh, yeah, and cheese.
I don't really like Swiss cheese that much.
They have other kinds of cheese.
But
Well, actually, no. All the cheese from Switzerland is going to be Swiss cheese.
Technically, yes.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I mean, America produces cheese, but it's not all American cheese. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really should have thought about this when we were naming our cheeses.
Yeah.
Well, number 1 place that you've traveled or want to travel or places to go.
I've actually been to this one, and it's Italy. I love Italy. Pizza, pasta, wine. The art there is amazing. You can actually see David's Michelangelo, the Sistine Chapel. I could go on and on about Italy, but best place I've been to, and I think most people will enjoy it because most people enjoy pizza and pasta, and if not, they like art and wine and walking. Yeah, go to Italy. If you have an anniversary, like a big one, like I think it's the 20-year one, Wayne will pay for your entire trip. You should take it to one of my top 5 places.
Okay. Good idea. All right. Thank you for that list of places to go. I've written them down here. Nice. Before we get to the 5 important questions, though, let's do one more thing. First pitch. You have 1 month to create a rental business, so you don't have a whole lot of time to acquire stuff,
Okay.
what would you rent?
Maybe really, really cute ski outfits.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they already have like ski equipment rentals, but I think we need one for the girls where
Okay.
it's just really cute outfits.
Yeah, I guess.
Or just outfits in general. It'd be really cool to be able to rent my Christmas outfit the same way guys rent suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we don't really hit that target.
All right. Well,
And I could just use my closet.
there you go.
So,
Emily's closet.
Emyly's closet. Yeah. You have to be my size, but we have a lot of stuff you can rent.
All right. Perfect. All right. Then let's take a break, and then we'll head into the 5 important questions.
5 important questions. 5 important questions? 5 important questions.
Let's go ahead and do the 5 important questions. We're almost done here. So let's do these 5 and we'll be good. Number 1, what would you say is your greatest success in life?
Being Lauren's friend. Hi, Lauren.
I don't think that Lauren is even going to watch this, so you're just
Someone's going to
totally
tell her.
unnecessary. All right. What is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm scared that someone's going to tell Lauren to watch this, and then she's going to listen to my greatest fear.
That's the original reason that I added this to the 5 important questions, just to gather intel for her.
My greatest fear is making so much money I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that seems like something that you would really be scared of.
Yeah.
If you could tell a first day at Point of Rental Emily one piece of advice, what would you tell her?
Write things down. Write everything down.
Is this physically writing things down, or is it digitally writing things down?
Probably digitally, so it's easier to find.
Yeah. I was going to say, you seem like a digital era person.
Yeah.
Okay. What's something that you believe that it feels like no one agrees with you on?
Dancing's fun. I feel like nobody agrees. I've tried to get a dance floor in the Christmas party, and nobody was into it.
Yeah. Dancing, I think, would probably be more fun, not necessarily with all of your coworkers.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, well, sorry you've been sentenced to death, as believing dancing is fun is now a capital offense. The people from Footloose kind of took over the world, and well, now you're being put to death. But you get a last meal. So, what is your last meal? Why?
Probably crispy duck pancakes. I feel like.
How does that work?
So you get like this sheet. I think it's rice paper.
Okay.
And then they give you crispy duck that like they usually shred. And you put the duck on there, and then you put cilantro or coriander if you're from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's cucumber. And then the best part is hoisin. Like hoisin and duck together is just the best combination. And it's kind of like tacos, but it's Asian food.
Okay.
And then you fold it up and just eat them. It's great.
Well, I do like tacos.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff sounds individually good. So maybe it would be good together.
Yeah.
What would you have with that?
Sushi.
Dang. So that's okay. I'm trying to get you to give me like a dessert or like a drink, or you're just doubling up on the main course.
Yeah. Sushi and a Diet Coke.
Okay. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? This is like a snap change type.
I'd make myself taller.
Okay. That's a fairly frequent wish.
Yeah.
No one says they wish they were a baller or a shot caller, just a little bit taller. How tall would you want to be?
Not that tall. Maybe like 5'5", 5'6".
Okay. So not like
Just normal
7
human
feet
height.
tall. If you could change one thing about Point of Rental, what would it be? Again, snap change. You're a magic person, but you only get one wish, and it's only limited to Point of Rental. It's a very weird.
I would change the office.
How?
I would change all the carpet and make it really pretty, and I would change the furniture. I feel like the brown mahogany is nice, but I would like it to look exactly like Google headquarters with the cafeteria and everything.
Okay, are we gonna have what was it? Crispy duck pancakes?
Yeah.
And,
On Mondays, because that's when I come in.
Okay. Yeah, I vote that I support your takeover.
Thank you. I'll pitch it.
All right. Tell me a secret about Point of Rental, something that not enough people know about. Yeah, you got to really work closely with a lot of teams, so you probably have a lot of secrets.
Yeah. My secret is that if there are any secrets, Holly's the only one that knows. Holly from accounting.
She does know a lot of things. Dang it, we did
Yeah.
an episode with her a long time ago, and I don't know if we
You're going to have
got
to
her secrets.
re-interview her
Yeah.
with a water bucket.
I don't know that I don't know that I want to record that or have any evidence of this. All right. Is there anything else that the people need to know about Emyly to feel like they understand you? Although it seems like maybe you don't want everyone to understand.
Yeah. Oh, I hate hugs. Unless we're really, really close. I'm really awkward with hugs or physical affection. So if you feel like hugging someone, go hug Wayne and then come talk to me.
So basically what you want people to do is hug Wayne, and then like Wayne can be maybe he can refer them.
Yeah.
To you.
Or just
If
go.
Wayne says it was okay, then maybe they can hug you.
No, Wayne's going to tell everybody that it's okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. Or you guys can go hug Wayne and be like, this one's for Emyly. That way, like, if you felt like hugging me, you actually go give it to Wayne. And he'll appreciate it a
is
lot
Wayne
more.
supposed to pass it along, or?
No.
Okay.
He can keep him.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Emyly, for chatting today.
Of course.
Thank you, Andrew and Daria, for helping produce this thing. Thanks to you out there for watching on YouTube or listening to wherever you're listening to this thing. Share the podcast with your friends, and then we'll talk about Emyly behind her back later on. And I'll see you next month. We'll keep the porch light burning for you.
I hope you guys get arrested so I can read those text messages in court. And I hope everybody actually goes and hugs Wayne for me.
I like the sign off of I hope everyone gets arrested.